Hello everyone, welcome back to Great Doctrinal Reset. Today we will be continuing our discussion on eschatology with our discussion of hell, heaven, and lake of fire. What does the Bible tell us about hell? The first thing we learn about hell is its location. It is in the center of the earth. Numbers 16 verse 33 tells us, "So they and all that belonged to them went down alive to Sheol, and the earth closed over them, and they perished from the midst of the assembly." This confirms other passages of the Bible where hell is constantly referenced as a place below that people fall into. We see this in Deuteronomy 32 verse 22, 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 6, Job 7 verse 9 and 11 verse 8, and 33 verse 18. We see this in Psalms 30 verse 3, 55 verse 15, 86 verse 13, and 139 verse 8. We see this in Isaiah 7 verse 11, 14 verse 9, in chapters 11 and 15, and 57 verse 9. And as well we see this in Ezekiel 31 verses 15 through 17, and 32 verse 27. We are told in Isaiah 5:14 that hell is ever growing. Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it. Hell can accommodate everyone who falls into it. Jesus informs us that hell is a place of torment and is a place to be avoided at all cost. Mark 9:43 through 48 states, "And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than to have two hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched, where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. And if thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life than having 2 feet and be cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched, where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. And if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out. It is better for thee to enter into the kingdom of God with one eye than having 2 eyes to be cast into hellfire, where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched." Hell and heaven have one attribute in common. They are both temporary holding places for human beings. Hell keeps sinners in prison until they are given their final judgment of the lake of fire. In our justice system, a person could be detained in prison and not have yet gone to trial and could be found not guilty. In the prison of hell, everyone is guilty. That is why they are under severe punishment while imprisoned. Heaven is a temporary place where saints are kept until we return to the physical world. Our destiny is not in heaven, but in our God-created physical universe. We were created with the purpose to rule this universe. We were not created to reign in heaven. Angels were. Since the creation of Adam and Eve, our purpose has not changed. If our destiny was not in this physical universe, then Jesus would not have to be born into this world to gain the Genesis 1:26 authority to rule it. Jesus' reward is the rulership of this universe. Revelations 21 verses 1 and 2 says, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth passed away, and there is no longer any sea. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, made ready as a bride adorned for her husband." This verse specifically states that the New Jerusalem comes down to the physical world from heaven. When the verse says new heaven and new earth, the Greek word for heaven means sky. What it really says is new sky and new earth. What is in the sky? Sun, moon, and stars, meaning a new earth and a new position in the universe, causing us to see new constellation of stars and other heavenly bodies. The lake of fire. What and where is it? The term lake of fire is mentioned 5 times in 4 verses at the end of the book of Revelations. Revelations 19 verse 20, 20 verse 10, and 20 verses 14 and 15. It is described specifically as a burning lake. Revelations 20 verse 15 states, "And if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire." There is also a place that Jesus calls outer darkness. It is mentioned 3 times in Matthew chapter 8 verse 12, 22 verse 13, and 25 verse 30. Jesus describes this place as a place of punishment where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. I argue that the lake of fire and outer darkness are one and the same. How are they both the same? With advances in astronomy, we can answer this question. Revelation 6 verses 12 through 17 states, "I saw when he opened the 6th seal, and there was a great earthquake. The sun became black as sackcloth made of hair, and the whole moon became as blood. The stars of the sky fall to the earth, like a fig tree dropping its unripe figs when it is shaken by a great wind. The sky was removed like a scroll when it rolled up. Every mountain and island was moved out of its place. The kings of the earth, the princes, and the commanding officers, the rich, the strong, every slave and free person hid themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountains. They told the mountains and the rocks, 'Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come. Who is able to stand?'" John describes the sun becoming black, the moon turning red as blood, and all the mountains and islands being moved from their place. He saw that the sky was removed as if like a scroll when it is rolled up. What was he looking at in the sky that was black, rolled up in a scroll, and capable of turning the moon red and moving all the islands and mountains? He was looking at our sun that had turned into a black hole. A black hole is both outer darkness and a lake of fire. In a black hole, light cannot escape, and it is a place far away from us, hence the name outer darkness. Inside a stationary black hole, all matter within is compressed to a tiny point. But black holes are not stationary, they spin. As a black hole spins, their mass spreads out into a disk. This disk is what John saw as the lake of fire. This explains the people's reaction to this event in Revelation 6, verses 15 through 17. "Then the kings of the earth and the great men and the commanders and the rich and the strong and every slave and every freeman hid themselves in the caves among the rocks of the mountains. And they said to the mountains and to the rocks, 'Fall on us and hide us from the presence of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of wrath has come, and who is able to stand?'" Considering this is called the great day of wrath, this would presumably come just after the 1,000-year reign of Christ. This is the point where we will be on the new earth, on a new location in the universe, and we will see the new Jerusalem come down from heaven. Jesus demonstrated that he knew about the existence of black holes from his reference to them as a place of outer darkness. He makes another reference to black holes by describing a unique property to black holes in a parable of the rich and poor man. Luke chapter 16 verses 24 through 26. "And he cried out and said, 'Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus so that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool off my tongue, for I am in agony in this flame.' But Abraham said, 'Child, remember that during your life you received your good things, and likewise Lazarus bad things. But now he is being comforted here, and you are in agony. And besides all this, between us and you there is a great chasm fixed, so that those who wish to come over from here to you will not be able, and that none may cross over from there to us.'" This fixed chasm that no one can cross is the event horizon of a black hole. Once anything passes the event horizon, nothing can escape from the gravitational pull of the black hole. If John mentions something in the book of Revelations, then we must understand why it is worth mentioning. Global society today does not see the sun as bringing down oppressive heat. Revelations chapter 7 verse 16 indicates that the sun undergoes compositional changes that causes it to radiate more heat than we are experiencing today. It states, "They will hunger no longer, nor thirst any more, nor will the sun beat down on them, nor any heat. Changes in our sun's composition is what would happen over time if it were to eventually collapse into a black hole. What to look for in the end times. What will the end times look like? One already stated variable to look for if our sun is to turn into a black hole is an intensification of the sun's energy output, as stated in Revelation 7, verse 16. Another variable to look for is a rise of a historical figure that has claimed to have returned. Revelation 17, verse 8 speaks of the Antichrist as someone who was, is not, and is about to come. This speaks of someone who may claim to be a historical figure. A prime suspect for this person is the Prophet Muhammad, or even a Moses impostor. We do not know who it is yet, but it is someone that we will see appear in the end times. Revelations 11:18 speaks of the judgment of the dead and to destroy those who destroy the earth. Since mankind is necessary for God's victory over Satan, we can look for a rise in attempts to destroy the earth's ability to sustain life. In conclusion, the biblical description of hell, heaven, and the lake of fire can be seen through both traditional theological lenses and modern scientific ones. The idea of a black hole as the ultimate place of judgment aligns with biblical imagery of eternal darkness and fire, while the new heaven and earth suggests a transformation of our physical reality where we, as God's children, continue our role as stewards and rulers. Thank you for watching. That is it for today. Next episode, we will be discussing the doctrine of the sacraments. Until then, I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.